Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning or good day, depending on where you're from. Welcome back to another live stream. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody's day going so far? Good morning, good morning. Good morning or good day, depending on where you're from. Hope everybody had a phenomenal weekend. Hope everybody else is ready to get back to work this week. How's everybody doing today? Just going to take some time to welcome everybody into the stream. Some people some time to join before we get into any information here. Morning, good morning, good morning. Morning, Anna. Morning, Doom. Morning, Saju. Morning, Yomar. Morning, Can Soup. Morning, Mr. Reckless. Morning, HMH. Pro Trader, how are you doing today? Prakar Fitness, how are you doing today? Emily, good morning. Mar, good morning. Marlon, what's up? Bob, how are you doing today? Anwar, good morning. Maritimes Trades, morning. John, good morning. Nicolas, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today? How did everybody's weekend go? Trades, good morning. Speedy, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Hope everybody's weekend went well. I don't know about you all, but it is freezing by me. I don't know who flipped the switch. I've been down south for over 5 years now and have never seen snow, but man, this past weekend we were getting ice. We were getting the whole nine. It was freaking cold, man. Somebody, turn the switch back on if you don't mind. I came here for the warmth. I would much rather it be warm. So I don't know what happened there. It looks like a lot of people got the storm. So I hope everybody was safe and sound. I hope that the storm didn't affect anybody or their well-being. I hope everybody had a safe weekend and a warm weekend because mine was not warm. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. I hope everybody's ready to get back to business this week. Man, it was like bone-chilling cold. I mean, probably the coldest it's been here in the last 5 years. So I hope everybody's weekend went well. Hope everybody's day is going well. And we're going to slowly get back into business this week. So giving some people time to join first. Get into it. Who else we have here today? Hey, good morning, Ross. Hope your weekend went well. Morning, Nate. Morning, Lisa. Morning, Umar. Morning, Tris. Morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. We have more than enough time here to get prepared, so we're going to go over some announcements. We'll talk about some price action, but I do like to focus on New York Open, so we're going to start off slow. We're going to make sure we get some analysis done. We're going to make sure that we get a game plan created. Make sure that we're prepared for the day. Ross, what do we got today? You absolutely nailed that Friday, so would love to hear your opinions. Love to hear any insight. Horn FX, good morning. How are you doing today? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Really appreciate the kind comment. I hope your day is also going well. Very excited to get back on here with you all. Very excited to get prepared for the session, get prepared for the week. I just want to take a moment to make sure that we're all in the right headspace. Okay. I'm a firm believer that, 80% of this business is mental, 20% of this business is arts. So, hear me clearly, right? Your prior experiences should not determine your future ones. Okay. If you had a loss last week, let go of it. Today is a new day. Let's focus on completing the process to the best of our abilities. Let's focus on keeping our risk management and implementing that to the best of our ability. Don't worry about the future. We have no clue what's going to happen. Focus on the now. Be present. Be objective to price action. Detach your emotions from the feelings. Okay? Said that incorrectly. Finish that last statement. Detach your emotions from the outcome. Outcome was it. So, let's just make sure that we're focused up on today. Make sure that we're being objective. Okay? And listen, you can't be objective right now. If you're too tired because you didn't get enough sleep weekend, if you're busy because you're rushing to the office, you have to get to your job, that's okay. I'm not saying that, we're not humans, but all I'm saying is if you can't provide your undivided attention to your business, then just make the educated choice to maybe hold off on the risk, right? Risk when you're capable of doing your due diligence, accepting the risk, and implementing the objectively. Outside of that, patient. Okay? Patient. But on top of that, I also wanted to see your opinion. So do me a favor, type a 1 into chat if you're bullish today. Type a 2 into chat if you're bearish today. I'm going to start to review some of the analysis here. Like people are still entering, so I'm just giving some people time to join. Cash, what's up, man? How's everything going? Hope your weekend went well. Michael, good morning. Pascal, good morning. Julius, good morning. Rich, good morning. Michael, good morning. Aaron, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. Hope everybody's ready to get back to business. Let's see what we have here. Couple ones coming in the chat. Couple twos as well. Couple more ones and a couple more twos. Looks pretty 50-50 so far. Hey, good morning, Tunes. How are you doing today? Morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's day is going well. Hope everybody's week is going well. Get into some of this information here. See what we have here today. All right. Get these out to daily chart. All right. So before we even get to any price action analysis, we need to get over here. So let's take a look at the economic calendar. Make sure that we know when the important times of the week are. Make sure we know when the red folders are. Get prepared for, volatility. That's the main reason why we cover the economic calendar. In my opinion, news is secondary. Price action leads, right? So my analysis is on price action. I don't look at the news and say, okay, we had good news. Okay, we had bad news. I don't do that. Not for day trading, at least. Investing, that's a different story. Day trading, we're in and out of the market so quickly that something fundamentally might not impact us. We're not here in the long term for day trading, in and out of the market. When it comes to news, I look at news as volatility, period. End of story. For example, many times where, you know, inflation data has came out and price has skyrocketed higher, right? There's many times where inflation data has come out, whether it's good or bad, it's plummeted lower. I've seen both sides of the story. You can get good numbers and it could skyrocket. You can get good numbers and it could plummet. There's really no definitive answer when it comes to data. Okay. One thing I can say that I'm not certain about, there's no guarantee market, never will be. And if anybody's ever telling you there is, you should probably run the other way. But only thing that I can assume from the news is that when one of these red folder events occur, there's going to be volatility steps. What direction? We don't know. Does news determine that direction? Maybe fundamentals are for the long term, but for day trading, no, that it doesn't always work that way. In times where we've had good inflation news gone higher, there's been times where we've had good inflation news and it's gone lower. No definitive one-way street there. Okay, so taking a look at the news to make sure that we're prepared for the week. No news here on Monday. Okay, so 9:30 a.m. is going to be the important time of the day. New York Open is always an important time. Doesn't matter if there's a news driver there. General public is allowed to start participating in the stock market at 9:30. Right? There's a select amount of participants that are allowed to participate before 9 for the stocks, right? The stock market. That's why 9:30 a.m. sees a influx of volatility, because there's more participants in the market at that time. We have 9:30 a.m. today, and that'll be the important time of the day, unless some kind of Trump tweet. Always, is not always on this calendar, but he does like to. So definitely need to be aware of Trump. Outside of that, there's no red folders today. So 9:30 is going to be our important time of the day. Same thing with Tuesday. We have no news there Tuesday. Okay. But Tuesday is a little bit more important than Monday, in my opinion, because the day leading up to FOMC, NFP, or CPI, those major news events, there's usually anticipation for those news events, right? So anticipation might come in the form of consolidation. So knowing that we have FOMC on Wednesday, Tuesday, I'm going to be looking at, a consolidation profile, thinking that there hasn't been any news yet on the week. They might be anticipating FOMC. Might want to hear what they have to say about the FOMC, the federal funds rate. Okay. For anybody that's newer here, please understand FOMC statement, FOMC press conference. That is the important driver that. Okay. Everybody gets confused with FOMC minutes meeting. That's not the same. Not as important as a federal funds rate, right? An FOMC press conference. FOMC press conference is an important one. Just know the difference there. Okay. FOMC Tuesday, 2 p.m. So be ready for some volatility then. And we have 8:30 a.m. on Thursday and Friday. So what this leads to my analysis, what this shows me, is that, in my opinion, it looks like the move for this week might be on the back half of the week, right? If we can see that clearly our volatility is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe they're going to be, creating the setup on Monday, Tuesday, carrying it out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right? Maybe Monday, Tuesday might be the consolidation into inflation, and then we finally get the move Wednesday, Thursday. So just some opening thoughts. I'm not saying that's my overall analysis. What I'm doing here is slowly gathering the data so that I can objectively, not sitting here saying this is what's going to happen. There will never be any form of guarantee. There are no certainties. Only thing I can say is there's a random distribution. What we're doing is we're analyzing information, gather probability. Okay, and I'm looking at here is, we'll be cautious here. Monday and Tuesday will be nice and slow. We'll be objective to price, and we'll wait unless there's something very clear and definitive that we can take action on. Outside of that, it looks like the majority of the move might happen here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday because of the news. Okay, so we'll just keep that in the back of our mind. That's not creating a bias. It's just information gathering. Okay. Additionally, if you ever need to see this economic calendar, I post this across my socials every single Sunday. Right? So getting prepared for the week, this is something that I do. So whether we're going to look at it here on the live stream, whether you see it on Discord or you see it on Twitter, always have to important times of. Okay? So, take a look. After understanding the important times of the week, that's when we get over to the daily. And on the daily, we're looking to obtain a higher time frame order flow. Okay? And man, I must say, this new week opening gap has just been giving us problems for about a week now. We've just been consolidating within this gap for multiple days, right? We created the gap Sunday heading into Monday. Monday, we got rejected by the gap. Tuesday, we got bought back up. Wednesday, it looked like we were going to get rejected from the gap again and created a seller's wick on top. But then Thursday, we went and took out previous day high. And then Friday was just an inside day bar consolidating within the gap. Man, this is ugly. That about it. This is very, it's not one-sided. Choppy and decisive. Let me show you a difference. Ready? Look how decisive this is. This is a very clear direction. Right? We are trending higher highs and higher lows. Right? This is a clear direction. We're moving in one location, which would be the top right of the screen. Moving to the top right of the screen, prices are going higher. Right? Very clear. Now take a look at this. Right? For how long have we just been squeezing inside this range? Right? The range is even getting even tighter because now we're, consolidating in here as well. Right? This has just been harsh for a month or so. We're just doing this chop inside of this tight range. So the difference here, what I'm saying is either going sideways, right? We're going to the right. We're not going to the top right. Right? We're not going to the bottom right. Right now, we've just been going sideways. Tough action there. Tough action there. So, what I can do heading into the session is be objective to the information that's being presented. When I'm analyzing, I'm looking at swing highs, swing lows, and FVGs. I'm looking at the type of price reactions that occur at those locations. So, seeing that we're currently dealing with a new week opening gap, I want to know if this is going to act as resistance or not. Right? You saw me say this on Friday. Still dealing with the same area. Will this area act as resistance? Right? Yes or no? Will this area act as resistance? This is the thought process that I have, the question that I'm asking myself, the way that I'm viewing this. Right? What is price going to do at this gap? That's what we're trying to figure out. Okay? Give me 2 seconds. I just changed my mind. I want to sit. So we're standing currently, but let me just change the desk over. Give me 2 seconds. All righty. All right. For anybody that doesn't have a sit-stand desk, you need to go get one because it is just invaluable. so nice to be able to get up and down. So definitely get yourself a system. Okay. Now, while we're going through this, I got to update the Discord as well. So I'm also going to be screenshots. So give me a second here. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, so I want to see if this area is going to act as resistance. And something that is telling right here is take a look at the highs, right? If we're going to analyze whether this is resistance or not, then I would be curious to see if there's any SMT anywhere pointing that information. So take a look at these highs here. Let's analyze that between ES and NQ. Let's take a look. Take a look. So ES did not sweep out to Thursday's high. Today's candle did not sweep out previous day. All right, let's analyze that over on NQ real quick. And what do we see? What do we see here? Right, Thursday's high was taken out by Friday's high. This is bearish SMT right here. This is bearish SMT between ES and NQ. See it right here? Thursday's high was never swept. So this would be bearish SMT. Okay, so I'm curious to see if previous day high stays intact or not. This is going to be something that shows me whether we are getting rejected from this area or not. Right? This is the overall question that I'm asking myself in terms of being objective to price. Allowing price to do whatever it wants to do and objectively, efficiently analyzing it. Reading it like a book from left to right. Without opinion, without influence. Whatever price gives us is what we should analyze and make sure we efficiently react to. Right? So I'm looking to see if this SMT will hold. Right? So SMTs are a level of invalidation. Right? If price were to go and take out previous day high on both of these assets, then we've invalidated this idea of a divergence. And that divergence is a lot of information. That's insight to order flow. So here's our level of invalidation, where I'm going with that. This is how I'll know whether this SMT is about to play out or not. Right? So this is essentially the bias that I'll be heading into the market with. Are we getting rejected from this area? Yes or no? Way that I'll get confirmation to that is whether we do this right? This is the first option. We go higher to invalidate the bearish SMT. If we invalidate the bearish SMT, that would make me think that we're turning resistance into support. Then, right? So resistance is broken here. We retest it to look for support or continuation higher. That would be what would need to happen for me to look for higher prices. We would need to invalidate this bearish SMT. Okay? If that does not happen, then I will be looking for a move lower, thinking that this SMT is what's showing that we're getting rejected from this area. How does that sound? In my opinion, I don't think I can make it any more clear than that. The entire idea revolves around this and this. So I'm just going to give 2 seconds. If you have any questions about it, throw it in chat. Let me know if that was not clear enough. If you need any further explanation of that, I'm showing you the if-then statements that are helping me objectively analyze price. Notice how I'm saying if-then. I need to know when I'm wrong. I need to know when I'm right. And I'm pointing to the things that will help me know whether I'm wrong or whether I'm right. Okay, does that make sense? For all the individuals that's saying the volume is low, try it on your end, because I've had confirmations that the mic is fine. So maybe I'll go ahead and ask again. Chat, do me a favor. Throw a thumbs up in chat if I sound fine right now. Throw a thumbs down in chat if the volume's low or if it's going in and out or any kind of issue. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let me know how the mic sounds. Seems like it's on your end. I don't think it's on my end. Turn the volume up. Better now? Yeah, see, I haven't changed anything. So none of the connections have changed. I didn't have to increase the volume. I haven't moved it. I haven't nothing. So if the volume's down, turn the volume up on the YouTube stream. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. This is the question that I'm asking myself, and this is what it boils down to for. Are we getting rejected from this area, yes or no? So let me get this into Discord. Give me a second. And let me see if I can make this clear. Get rejected from this area. Am I right on this? Validation. If price and above previous day high, validating the daily minus SMT. Validation would be if price ran above previous day high, invalidating the daily SMT. Validation would be if price affected the minus SMT at previous day high and went lower from here. This is what I'll be watching this morning. Shots so they can get well. Okay. Yes is there. Sure. Okay. All right. So essentially, it will be the same exact information as NQ. So yes, I am going to have to draw this out. NQ looks like it's already invalidating this bearish gap, right? Because it's going above it. So we'll see if that's telling or not. Copy that here. That. Copy this here. That. Two correlated assets should be moving the same at the same time. That's why you see me essentially moving the information over to NQ, because NQ would have the same exact information. Right? If we were going to get rejected, then that bearish SMT at previous day high should stay intact. Quite literally the same information. Should have wrote on the first chart bearish target, not overall target, because that changes the objectivity of the. I should have wrote bearish target, not just target. Well, and so everybody gets to see the process now too, in terms of how to conduct this business, how I approach the market. A lot of people ask me what my approach is, and you're seeing it now in real time, right? Getting on the charts, making sure I analyze the economic calendar, then moving over to the daily chart, getting to analyze swing highs, swing lows, and FEGs on the daily chart. You know, and look at what time it is, right? It's 8:30 a.m. So I'm normally prepping for the session, right? Heading into the session. Okay. And this was also something that I wanted out. Did have a change in the state of delivery here, so I do want to see if these gaps send price lower. Then it would look like this was a change in the state of delivery. Right, during this dump here, we made a new low. Curious to know if they changed the market structure there. Getting some bearish SMT here at the highs as well. Right, 15-minute ES ran above this, whereas N did not. Right. All right, so ES and NQ. Oil. Oil, I still have the same bias as what I left everybody off with here. Right, during last week's stream, we had mentioned it looked like they were doing an internal to external move using this volume imbalance. What I left everybody off with last week, and it looks like we're still working on. So I don't really have to dive deep into this one. This just looks like an internal. Right, they moved from here at this gap, found support from it, and now it looks like it's trying to continue to new. Different terminology. This is what I'm looking at on oil. Target that high. That. Test R. Change the name. Target. Okay. NQ, ES, oil, dollar. The dollar, we absolutely crushed this bias. Absolutely crushed this. This was just astonishing. Astonishing. We were looking at this gap here. And when we looked at this gap, we pointed to the SMT that occurred here against Euro, stating that we were going to get a move lower. And originally, I was pointing to this swing low, and that's why I'm calling this astonishing. Because I thought this was the target here. Boy, did they over-exaggerate that. I mean, this is a gift, right? This is more than expected. When you get a gift given to you, that's when you have to allow your winners to run. You got to be overly patient with your winners, overly impatient with your losers. So runners need to run. Your largest winner needs to heavily outweigh your largest loser. Your average win needs to be 2R of your average losses. This is what puts those averages in the favor right here. When these moments in time happen, got to let those runners run. Right? Like I thought this was the target, and yeah, they did a great job smashing that target, but they also over-exaggerated it by letting it run much further lower. And more. This is just astonishing here. Gap down, start the week. Wow. So, with that being said, I don't have a bias here. I was looking for the move lower. The move lower happened. Now that targets are being smashed, this is a moment in time of the target's been completed. I'm not going to continue to force my bias upon price. It did its job. The objective is completed, right? So now I'm going to be patient. Now I'm going to wait for additional information to develop before I create another bias here. These targets were smashed. Till price shows something else, we'll just wait, right? Like I have no rush to be like, okay, now it's time to become bullish. I also have no rush in shorting this after it's already done a massive expansion low. So what I'm trying to say is now is the time to move back to the sidelines for the dollar, right? Like we can remain bearish because that was the bias, but understand I'm not looking to short anymore. The targets have been completed. So now it really just boils down to it's just time to wait for additional information to develop before we create a new bias here. Okay, so let's still document this and make sure that we're getting our journaling completed. Okay. Need to document, learn data. This in the Discord. Oh. And lastly, but not least, let's get over to EU as well to wrap up the analysis portion. Stop over here. And this is the same exact thing as the dollar. Okay, so I don't really have analysis here. On Friday, we pointed to this SMT right here against dollar. We had stated that we were looking for a move higher because we found a bullish SMT occurring at a bullish FEG. Therefore, we were looking for a move from the FEG to this swing high here. And they just blew right through that target. I mean, they just kept going. It really over-exaggerated the move and even went and hit the next target. Now that the bullish targets have been completed, phenomenal job on that bias. But now, just like the dollar, I'm moving back to the sidelines. Okay. Where we are currently at on Euro, I do not want to be longing. Okay. Where we are currently at on Euro, I am not ready to become bearish. So, just like the dollar, that leaves me with saying, I'll wait here. I'll wait for additional information to be developed. I'm not going to rush into a new bias. There needs to be something so clearly defined that I can analyze and understand and utilize within myself. Okay, so right now, it just looks like the bullish bias was correct. Objective has been completed. Now we move to the sidelines to wait for new information to. Okay, so let me update the difference. All right. Now I'm going to back over to chat. Before we change the conversation, looking at you, chat. Any questions, any comments, anything you'd like to go over about any of those biases, throw it in chat. We can go over any type of information. Feel free to throw any type of question regarding any of these biases. $6.59 taken. What are you looking at, Ross? What do you got so far this morning? Higher or lower prices? So you'll also notice now that I'm cleaning up the charts. Simplicity brings clarity for me. So yes, I'm going to keep the logic in my mind during the time of, but with that being said, I'm also now clearing up the chart so I can easily identify information. That way I can be prepared. $6.92, probably for NQ then. $6.90 coming up right about now. Wrong change in the state of delivery there. Sent it higher to Ash. Will you check gold? Take a look at gold. Before I take a look at gold, who can remember what I said about gold? Recently, the question keeps coming across. How do you deal with gold at all-time highs? Throw it in the chat if you know what my opinion is on gold. Everybody always likes to say, you know, we're at all-time highs. What are we supposed to do? Exactly. Trend is your friend until the end of the trend. Okay, I said that about 3 days ago. No, what was that? 4 or 5 days ago. That was either on Wednesday's live stream or Friday's live stream. See if we got. Well, there you go, chat. There you go. Point proven. Point proven. Go back to, I think it was either this day here. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday. Please go fact check me. Please go fact check me. Seriously. I believe it was Wednesday, in which this is what I drew on the chart right here. Ready? Let's go back to Wednesday. So it looks exactly the same. Go back to Wednesday's live stream. The question was, Ash, what do you do with gold at all-time highs? On that live stream, I pointed to this. I said the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. I would like to see a short-term pullback to continue the trend higher, right? I don't want to be longing at a daily high. What I would want is a small pullback to then continue the trend. Well, guess what we get? Guess what we get? Small pullback, right? We almost reach previous day low. So tiny pullback, and then the trend continues. I really don't know how to make it any more clear than this. I quite literally said if you're going to try to time the top, you're going to get ran over time and time again. Well, if you tried timing the top, you got ran over once here, you got ran over once here, you're getting ran over again this morning. It's plain and simple. Trend is your friend until the end of the trend. Like, do yourself some favor in terms of perspective by going like this, right? Get out to a weekly, get out to a monthly, any type of. Look at this. Look at this. What? This is just purely being objective to price, right? Like, leave all your opinions outside. Like, don't bring any opinions here when it's time to trade. When you're trading, be objective to price. Leave your opinion somewhere else and read price like a book. Because this is clear as day. I really don't know how to make it any more clear than this. Price is moving to the top right of the chart. When you're moving to the top right, you're bullish. You're moving to the bottom right, you're bearish. It is very clearly moving to the top right. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend. And there's your proof. So go fact check me from Wednesday and then use that logic to confirm whether it was right or wrong. Right? Now, I just want to make one more statement about that. We're talking about day trading here. Right? So when we come here on the live stream at New York Open, we're talking about getting in and out of positions on an intraday basis. Okay, we're talking about day trading. Okay? In terms of investing, right? In terms of long term, the time is not to buy now. So these are, you got to understand that there's two different conversations happening here. I am not talking about long term. I'm talking about day trading. The logic that I'm talking about, the perspectives that I have, it's all about day trading. Okay, so please don't carry that over into long-term investing. Okay, just know the difference. By the way, Ash, is this live stream going to be a regular thing? Maybe some days in a week, same days in a week? Yes. So, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. for all of 2020. 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday over on the My Funded Future. Okay, so there's different live streams. One on my channel, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then there's one on the My Funded Future channel, 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, so yes, it will be showing up. Then Tuesdays and Thursdays are for the premium group. That's for the premium private mentor. Those will remain private mentorship days. That is not going to. All right. Ash, do you use candle closures to determine bias? Candle closures is not the sole way that I look at bias. Yes, I look at candle closures because I want to see what type of price reactions are occurring at certain levels. The way that I determine a bias is by getting on the daily chart, analyzing swing highs, swing lows, and FEG. Right? So I want to be bullish when price is below a swing low or inside of a bullish FEG. I want to be bearish when price is above a swing high or inside of a bearish FEG. When price is at those locations, that's when I'm looking at candle closures to see what type of reaction occurs at those locations. Okay? Ash, what if entry was against your bias? I don't do that. That's something that I don't do. I create a game plan, and I go into the market executing that game plan. Right? So if I've determined that I'm bullish heading into the session, I'm looking for longs. Okay? If a short is the only thing to appear that day, then I will not take the position because I set a game plan for myself for that session. That's the game plan that I'm willing to execute. I don't go back and forth. I don't go bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish within one session. I create a game plan for the day. I execute. Very good question. Very good question. Thank you very much. Have you been bearish someday in the past month of NQ, even though higher time frame NQ is still bullish? Just go and look at my prior recordings. Any of the live streams, any of the documentation on Twitter, Discord, you can see all prior information shown on social media. Take a look. I know typically we want to enter session open, but how far into the session will the entry no longer be valid? I look to focus from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's not a matter of being valid or not. It's a matter of that is the time that I'm capable of giving this business my undivided attention. Okay, so it's not a matter of whether price action will allow the position to play out or not. Anything can happen at any point in time. What I'm trying to say is I can't focus on the charts past 11:30, so I don't try to focus on the charts past 11:30. In my opinion, you should set a limit on the amount of time that you're willing to participate here. You don't want to think that there's always a trade available. That's going to cause overtrading. That's going to make you think that you should take another trade. I don't do that. I've set a boundary in terms of the time that I'm willing to take trades so that I know outside of that boundary is wrong for me. Not saying wrong for price, I'm saying wrong for me. Right? I don't want to be at the gym on my cell phone being like, oh, where do I put the stop loss? Oh, where's the entry? No, when I'm at the gym, I'm focusing on my health. So you have to hear what I'm saying. There is always an entry available. You can trade the PM, you can trade the AM, you can trade London, you can trade Asia. And that's the problem. There's always a trade available. But you don't want to have that thought process because then you're going to start over trading. So set some boundaries, set some limits. That way, price doesn't drive you crazy. Trying to determine every single price fluctuation is going to get very tiring. So, overall answer is you can take a trade at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just like you can take a trade at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But whether that's right for you, you need to answer that question on when are you capable of giving your business its undivided attention. For me, that's 9:30 to 11:30. So I'm focusing on New York Open, and I give myself about 2 hours. If I don't find a trade by then, I'll just turn the charts off and I'll go to the gym. Be done for the day. You just don't want to be stuck to the screen. You don't want to be over trading. You don't want information overload. So set some limits so you understand what is right and what. Hey, Ash, how do I start for bias determination? I know everything, but I just fail for determining bias. Could you break it down in steps again? Just very simple. Right, I get to the daily chart, look at swing highs, swing lows, and FEGs. If price is currently at a swing low or a bullish FEG, I look at what type of price reaction occurs there. If I get a bullish price reaction at those bullish locations, then I have a bullish bias. Vice versa goes for bears. If price is currently at a swing high or a bearish FEG, I will look to see if a bearish price action occurs at that location. If it does, then I'll be bearish for the day. Very simple. I'm just looking at swing highs, swing lows, and FEGs on the day. Looking at what type of price reaction occurs. Did you look at SMT with NQ and YM or only NQ and ES? I focus on NQ and ES. And that's why you can see these on my watch list. Again, that's an information overload thing for me. I don't want my focus to be scattered all over the place. Just want to get really good at one thing. For me, that's NQ and ES. I do not want my watch list to look like that. 20 different assets, trying to analyze so much different information that it's going to cause information. So I keep it very simple, very short. NQ and ES, that's what I focus on. How do you feel about the current unicorn that it's trading? Yeah, so I'm definitely going to take a look at this. So let's take a look at this right here. Okay, so it looks like they might have both swept out the lows there. Okay, so no bullish SMT there, but this is in fact, right? This is in fact a breaker right here. These up close candles, without a doubt, is a continuation breaker right here. Have the FEG aligned with it, right? So this is definitely information that I'll be watching here at the open. Right, do we retrace to it? If we do we get support to target the highs, right? Or do we run out the highs first and see what type of reaction occurs to highs, right? ES is already doing it. So remember, in terms of that bias, right? If you weren't here for the bias conversation, you might want to rewind the stream. This is going to be telling information here, trying to take out the SMT here. If we take out that SMT, it looks like the bulls can control. Hey, good morning, Summer Z. How's your day going so far? What are your favorite entry models and checklist? So the checklist is what's the most important. Entry model is the least important. Logic that you provide to your decision making is what creates probability. We trade probability as day trader. Entry functions are the least important concept. For example, what I'm saying is, here's my checklist. This is how I create a game plan. Here's my checklist, and this is how I create a game plan. Day starts with me analyzing time. I get on the economic calendar. I make sure I know when the red folders are. I make sure I know when New York opening is going to occur. Second most important thing is bias. I get to a daily chart. I look at swing highs, swing lows, and FEGs and create a bias. Third most important thing, I look for key levels that have SMT. Key level with, okay. Least important concept, entry function. Right? So if I don't have number one, I don't go to number two. If I don't have number two, I don't go to number three. If I don't have number three, I'm not going to number four. So understand that the logic is created from time, bias, and key level. The entry function, you can use any form of change in the state of delivery. Right? You can use breaker block. You can use an inversion. You can use a change in the state of delivery. It doesn't really matter what entry function you use. It's the logic that you provide to your decision. Ash, is your risk flexible for each trade? Some more or less or constant? The constant is that I divide my drawdown by 10. That's the constant. I'm always dividing my drawdown by 10. That's the amount that I'm willing to risk per trade. I'm only taking one trade per day. Those are the constants. In terms of a dollar amount, yeah, the dollar amount's going to change. Sometimes I'll risk 600. Sometimes I'll risk 1,000. Sometimes I'll risk 2,500. It depends on my drawdown because I'm dividing my drawdown by 10. Right? So when my account balance goes higher, my risk goes higher. My account balance goes lower, my risk goes low because I'm always dividing it by 10. I'm doing great, man. How are you doing? I'm doing very, very well. Thanks for asking. Very excited to get back to business this week. We got a full week ahead of us, so we're getting prepared. We're getting ready for New York Open. We had a phenomenal weekend, except for the fact that it was extremely cold. We had like ice over. Not happy about that part, but ready to get back to work, ready to get another week of business in. Hopefully your weekend went well, and hopefully your day starting off well as well. What does SMT mean? SMT is a crack in correlation. It's a divergence. Here's an example of a bullish SMT. Don't look at the arrow. Let me get that off there. SMT is a crack in correlation. It's a divergence between two correlated assets. So, for example, imagine this one on the left is NQ. Imagine this one on the right is ES. Two correlated assets should be doing the same thing at the same time. Right? So let's imagine this is the 10 a.m. swing low. Right? Let's imagine this is the 10 a.m. swing. Be the 11 a.m. swing low. This would be the 11 a.m. swing. Notice how they're doing two different things at the same points in time. NQ ran below the 10 a.m. low at 11 a.m. ES did not run below the 10 a.m. low at 11 a.m. This is a divergence between two correlated assets. This is what bullish SMT looks like. Track and core. That's what okay? Very good question. Do you trade evals more aggressively than fundeds? Let's actually go over that. I forgot to do the discounts for so let me pull that up real quick. Give me a second here. Let's get over here real quick. Did want to bring up the second. Okay. All right. So if you take a look at the Twitter, I'll post it on there. Prop firm discounts for the week. You have my funded futures, 50% off all pro accounts for new users and 30% off for existing users. Tradeify, we have 30% off all accounts. Lucid, we have 40% off all accounts. Alpha, 15% off all accounts. 8, 35% off your first 2 signature. Okay, so make sure you use code ASH if you go to any prop firms. You can see that on my Twitter as well. Second question, but do me a favor, if I help in any terms of this business, if I provide any value, use code ASH to support. That way we can continue to keep doing more giveaways, continue to keep providing more value for the community. This over here as well. Seconds. Okay. Now for the question. Do you trade evals more aggressively than fundeds? A lot of people that have been working with me know the answer to this. A little bit of a long-winded answer, but I trade evals extremely aggressively. So I try to pass them as fast as possible. One shot, one kill is what we call it. We try to literally pass it within seconds using news events going highest leverage. Okay, so this is only for individuals who have proven their abilities. Okay? The individual that is still working on their education, use the eval to gain experience. Okay? Do not try to rush the process if you are still in the learning phase. Seriously. One shot, one kill is only for people who have had many payouts. They have proven profitability. They have proven consistency. They have proven that they can adhere to their risk management. They can afford the failure of blowing up that one shot, one kill. Okay. Then obviously there's the prop firm side of things. You have to be using accounts that have one day to pass, right? No consistency rules in the eval to think about doing, right? So yes, I have done one shot, one kill, telling you that that is only for people that have proven their trading abilities. Everybody else should be using that time to learn, create their. Okay. Do you trade the first 15 minutes, 30 minutes, market open? Yes, I focus on 9:30 to 11:30, New York Open. That is my trading session. Ash, if price is bullish, but we get a strong bearish daily candle closure inside of a bullish FEG, what's your next day bias? Or do you just sit out next day to see how it reacts that day? Yes, I would just wait to see the next reaction. Plain and simple. I don't want to, just because price is inside of a bullish FEG, that doesn't give you authority to immediately react to that bullish bias. I would want to see some type of bullish price reaction. Once we get a bullish price reaction, then I would want to go in looking for longs. You need your confirmations first. Yes, I want to see a bullish reaction first at a bullish location. Tyree, what's up, man? Thanks for joining once again. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're not a Rams fan either, because I was let down heavily last night. Ah, God, who watched that Rams game? That was just so freaking close, man. But good morning, Tyree. Hope your day is going well. Hope you had a nice weekend. Thanks for the reminder. Chat, do me a favor. Like the video. Sub to the channel. We're going to be showing up, working, and learning every single chance we get. Not better paper trading? I think that comment's referring to the one shot, one kill that we were just talking about. Yeah, if you need time to practice this business, you need time to educate yourself on how to trade, go ahead and paper trade. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's there for. How would you trade if you had 500K available in a personal account? The same exact way that I'm trading now. A dollar amount does not change my system. Process remains the same. The results are a byproduct. Hey, Ash, good morning. I hope you had a good weekend. Good morning to you too, Kathy. I hope all is well. Thanks for joining. What do you think about NASDAQ actively pursuing plans to transition its trading environment toward 24/7? Yeah, they've been talking about that for way too long. It still hasn't happened yet. So I'm like one of the people that says, like, I need to see it to believe it. Right? Like the amount of times that they have mentioned that over the past years is more than I can count at this. In terms of my model, no, nothing's going to change. My model would have to fail me consistently for me to want to change it. That hasn't happened yet. So I don't plan on changing. If that time comes, I will cross that bridge when we get there. What I'm saying is that time hasn't come yet. So I will be waiting. Hey, can you please show your unicorn setup example, please? Yep, New York Open's about to happen in about 13 minutes here. If we get a trade, you'll be watching me take that trade right here. So you might get a live example coming up here shortly. Ash, when did you start trading real capital? I actually started on real capital. So 7 years ago when I first started trading, the first time I traded, I put my own cash into Robinhood to trade. So I always started with real capital. I didn't learn about prop firms until about 2 years ago. So I had been trading for 4 years using cash accounts before I even got to the prop firm. Do you use session kill zones? I focus on 9:30 to 11:30 in terms of trading. Yes, I do look at prior sessions, right? I do want to know where London high is, where London low is, where Asia low is. Yes, I do want to know where those areas are. And yes, I do participate during New York Open. How long into the Open do we wait before we consider taking a trade? There is no defined answer. You'll never have a point in time where it's like, okay, 9:45 is when we trade. 10 a.m. is when we trade. There is never going to be a defined time. Price can and will do whatever it wants whenever it wants to, right? So maybe price creates a setup at 9:30. Maybe the setup does not get created until 10 a.m. Maybe we have to wait until 11 a.m. I have no clue. Nobody has a crystal ball. You cannot tell when price is going to do so. You can sit here and objectively analyze it. We can watch it and be patient enough to wait for our setup to be confirmed. But price is going to decide to do that whenever it wants to do. There's no defined answer. No red folders today. Does that not tell you anything? I know some people don't like to trade when there's no red folders. You know, I don't know what other people are telling you. As I explained earlier with the red folders, that's just a form of volatility. Right? Doesn't matter if there is a red folder or there isn't a red. I'm willing to take a trade on either one of those. All I know is when there is a red folder, we can expect volatility at that point in time. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, there's no red folder, I'm not going to trade today. No, I'm not that type of person. Average number of trades per month. Right now, I'm averaging 4 per month. I've been averaging about 1 per week. What if we have a unicorn setup just before the open? Can we take it as soon as it hits? Have you set a time in which you're willing to engage with the market? It sounds like you haven't created a game plan. Right? Like, do you know when you're allowed to be looking for trades? Right? For example, I've said it many times already here this morning. I look for trades between 9:30 to 11:30. So that would mean if it's before the market open, there's your answer. Cool, thanks. Appreciate you for explaining all these questions so calmly. Feel free to ask any question. Chat, listen, it doesn't matter how beginner, how intermediate, how advanced, ask questions. This is how we learn this business. Okay, so it doesn't matter if I'm repeating myself. It doesn't matter how beginner the question is. We need to go through the information to learn these things. And then additionally, we need a lot of repetition. So we need to hear this information a million times over because muscle memory is built through repetition. Conviction is built through more experience. So we need to keep showing up. We need to keep going over these questions. We need to keep analyzing this information. That's how we develop this business. Showing up, going over that information. So always feel free to ask any questions. Doesn't matter if it's beginner or advanced, here to work and learn. For average trades, I know you've mentioned before, only 1 to 2 per week if the setup is there and still not trading. Is that a statement or a question? A little confused. Can you give suggestions to control overtrading and patiently waiting for a target? I think a lot of people fall into the emotional roller coaster of watching a P&L fluctuate. Right? Like, let me give you an example. If you're too large of size and you're watching the P&L fluctuate by plus 100, minus 500, plus 1,000, minus 1,000, if those larger numbers are going to make you feel some sort of way, right? Angry or happy, euphoric or scared, nervous or anxious, you're too large of a position size. Right? So the question was how to hold trades longer. Get to the correct position size that will allow you to have no emotions about the outcome. That's how we fix patiently waiting for targets. How is your dividend portfolio doing? God awful. That was a very bad investment. That has overly underperformed. Has been. Let's just take a look at it. I will be the first one to say it. I got caught in the hype of higher yields. Right? So my entry is somewhere in the 50s, so I'm underwater on the principal. I'm somewhere in here. I'm underwater on the principal, so the principal is negative. And the dividends that have been paid have not outweighed that depreciation. So net negative. Not happy about it. That's the name of investing. That's the name of the game. You'll have winners. You'll have losers. You know, that's just how it works. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you lose. That was a loser. It's still losing right now. So very unfortunate that portfolio. So we got another 5 minutes here coming up before the session. So let's get prepared. You are going to hold high yield ETFs. I have been holding high yield ETFs for multiple months. We've already went over that information. We've talked about it in Discord and on social. That's already occurred. Are you going to keep dripping? Yes, I kept dripping, but I did not add any more capital to it. Only the drip, only the dividend reinvestment. All right, chat. 4 minutes before the open here. Now 3 minutes. Let's see what we got here to start the week. Ash, do you look at monthly, weekly time frame too? No, for day trading, I'm focused on the daily. That's where I get my bias. Then I look for key levels from the hourly or the 15-minute. Then I look for entry functions from the 5 or the 1. Not as concerned with the monthly or the weekly when day trading. Do you take entries based on 1 hour POIs or only 15-minute? I've used 1 hour before. What matters is you need to have a higher time frame, need to have an intermediate time frame, then you need to have a lower time frame. Oh. Higher time frames, usually the daily being the bias. Intermediate time frames, either the hourly or the 15-minute for a key level, then 1 or 5 for entry fund. Why do you not look at the 4 hour? I don't need to have 1,000 different time frames, right? The more time frames, it's just going to cause information overload. So I don't need 90 different things to be looking at. I just want 1 or 2 things. I would suggest getting rid of information overload. If you're looking at too many charts, that's going to cause information overload. If you're looking at too many assets, that's going to cause information overload. If you're looking at too many strategies, that's going to cause information overload. There is clarity in simplicity. Okay? Clarity in... With the Path Beyond Live, are they adding more money to your balance, like bonuses? Or if you do become an employee, do you get a salary as well? They are. That is one of the benefits of being in the Path Beyond Live. It increases in capital. So when certain milestones are hit, it will increase the capital. All right, New York Open. What are we going to get today, chat? What are we going to get today here for New York Open? Throw a 1 in chat if you think we're going to get higher prices today. Throw a 2 in chat if you think we're going to get lower prices. Let's see what we're about to get here. Let's get prepared. Let's see if we can find a position for it. See what we get here today, chat. ES leading the way higher, looking like the stronger pair so far. NQ going to try to catch up. Let's take a look. Is that going to be a change in the state of delivery? It just came out. Take out the lows. Whereas ES did not. All right, so some bullish SMT. Is this going to be the bullish change in the state of delivery here? Starting to look like it. See what we got here today, chat. Looking for a 25-point stop here. I'm looking to risk around $500 or $600 today. I did almost grab this here. I want to see if that's going to be a bullish change in the state of delivery. After tapping into the 15-minute bullish FEG, bullish SMT against ES. See if we'll give this about a 25-point stop I'm looking at. Maybe look for about 50 points of a take profit. See what we get here. See what we got here. Yes, doing a good job going higher. See if we can get about 50 points out of this. I'm only going to give it a 25-point stop. I really only want to risk about $500 here. I'm not going to use the swing low. I really only want to risk about $500 here. See what price gives us today. See if we get a push here at the open. All right, I'm confirming a winner for the day. We're a bit overextended to the top side, so I don't want to let this come back and take me out. I'll take at least $200 to start the day. We'll see if it wants to run from here. Take another 10 points if we get an additional push higher, but we're at least taking $200 to start the day. See if we get another push higher here. All right, so I'm going to keep trailing this simply because we're here at the open. I'm taking advantage of some volatility here. We're going to keep trailing this higher as it goes higher. 20 points to start the day. That's a beautiful way to start the week. I'm very happy with that. Give it another point, so I'm at least taking home $400 today. See if we get one more push. All right, chat. That's where we're going to start the week. This is just a beautiful change in the state of delivery. Absolutely gorgeous here. We found the bullish SMT at the low. Let's go back into this so that everybody can understand what I'm saying now. Okay? Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Heading into New York Open, NQ runs lower below the previous 15-minute candle low into a bullish fair value gap. Okay, take a look at this. Then take a look at ES. What do you see here? Bullish SMT at a location of a bullish fair value gap. Right? Now it's a matter, right? You have a key level that shows SMT at New York Open. Now it's a matter of going down to a lower time frame and looking for a change in the state of delivery. And that happens here. The candle that runs below a swing low into a higher time frame key level that also has SMT. The moment price closed above the opening price of the down close candle, you saw me analyze this as a bullish change in the state of delivery. You saw me point to the bullish SMT. So anytime after this 1 minute candle closed above here, that's a long opportunity from the change in the state of delivery. Look at these two entries here, right? You saw me enter on the 933 candle. So we got entered in at 933. We risked 25 points and we made just about 20 points. So almost a 1-to-1 R using a key level with SMT, using a change in the state of delivery. Amazing way to start the week. Absolutely amazing way to start the week. No, this was not a unicorn for the Squirt Mom. This was not a unicorn. This was a bullish change in the state of delivery. So, did anybody grab a W on the long? Who else was able to grab some longs, seeing the SMT and the bullish change in the state of delivery? Now, in my opinion, I might have been too aggressive with the stop loss placement, right? Trailing the stop too aggressively, because this idea hasn't been invalidated yet. We'll see. We'll see if taking 20 points, starting the week off with plus $400 is better than, you know, leaving the original stop loss. Nice 20 points to start, though. I mean, honestly, chat, serious question here. Plus $400 in the matter of 933 to about 937. Plus, chat, $400 in the matter of 3 minutes in the morning. What? Now, this is why I'm saying I might have been too aggressive. Now you're looking for your 2R here. So this is your example of being too aggressive with the stop loss placement, because now we're running the 2R. Right? So instead of being patient, allowing your winners to win, right? Being more patient with your winners. If you took that long here this morning, you have to be taking your profits now. Now you're looking at plus 2R. If you took that long here this morning, now you should be taking your profits, because now you're looking at plus 2R. Who grabbed the longs, chat? Throw a W in chat if you're green on the day with me. Throw a W in chat if you're green on the day with me. Let's go, chat. Let's go. Correct. That was a change in the state of delivery. There's nothing more to it. Change in the state of delivery with SMT at a key level at New York Open. Lots of W's. Let's go, chat. Let's go. Very good job, everyone. Very good job. Okay, now the next thing that I have to say is I want everybody to answer this. I want everybody to answer this. For the individuals that just got green, throw a 1 in chat if you're done for the day. Throw a 2 in chat if you're going to keep looking for more. What's your opinion? Are you satisfied with enough? Yes or no? Who's going to keep looking? Who's going to be done for the day and be satisfied with $400? Tell me. going to greatly change your results. So I would love to hear from you all. All right, like in my opinion, I'm happy. I'm done. And I think overtrading is the thing that's going to kill your account. So, number one, home from work, get to play with the kids. Yeah, see that, Dad, that sounds exponentially better than taking another trade. Going and spending some time with the family after getting a W. Now you get to be green and you get to be home and you get kids. Yeah, I'm taking that over looking at this chart for any more time on today, right? Like the rest of the day should be with the family at this point. That's the entire reason why we're here. That's the entire reason why we're learning this, is the ability to have some freedom of time, freedom of location. $400 in the morning. For other individuals, it was probably $800 because they held the 2R. Yeah, I'm taking that all day long. So let me hear it. How much did you guys come home with today? Throw a number in chat as well. $300 with 3 micros. I'm done. Let's go, Angelo. Let's go. That's a massive W right there. Congratulations. $300 is amazing way to start the week. Amazing way to start the week. Amazing job. All right, let me document this, right? So just real quick, you know, we still need to complete our journaling. We still need to complete our documenting. It does not matter if you had a win or a loss. You still complete your process to the best of your ability. So let's make sure we get this documented as well. New York AM long. Take a look. To New York open. New York open for time. Notice how we waited until 9:30 a.m. We've been sitting here yapping since 8 a.m. We did not click any buttons until 9:30 hit. So again, that whole question of when to trade. Notice how we focused on New York open. Notice how we're getting volatility here at New York open, because 9:30 is an important. New York open for time. Check. Okay. Then we had a 15-minute bullish FEG as a higher time frame E level. Check. At New York open, we found a bullish change in the state of delivery. Excuse me. Hold on. Don't forget the bullish SMT. See, this is why we need to document. 15-minute bullish SMT against yes. With ES. Heck. Lastly is the entry. A 1 minute bullish change in the state of delivery. Plus CSD. Check. Amazing job. Amazing job. All right. All right. Go take a look at the tweet. Now you can understand the documentation portion, the journaling portion. I need to also get this information into Discord so that they are aware as well. Okay. New York Open, long. Open, S&P, changing the delivery. All right, very good. Documentation's being completed. All right, chat. I'm extremely happy for all the individuals that were able to get green with me this morning. I'm going to open up the floor for about 10 minutes of questions and answers. I do need a little bit of time to myself because I have my Funded Futures live stream coming up at 10:30. So I'm going to do about 10 minutes of questions and answers. Then I'm going to go get some breakfast, have about 30 minutes to myself, and go over to the My Funded Futures live stream. So sorry if I missed your question. I just finished my documentations. Heading back over to chat now. Let's do about 10 minutes of questions and answers, and then we'll wrap up the stream. It would be greatly appreciated if everybody could follow me over to the My Funded Futures live stream as well. That way, that community could get the information as well. If you guys could come with me, we're going to have one more live stream for one more hour today. How much did I make? Oh, my work. Chat, this is going to work because my camera's in front of the... All right, let's take a look. Oh, maybe you got the account number. Hopefully you didn't. Where is it? Summary, position, account summary. $409. Guess it doesn't matter. $409. You can see that I'm in my live account. $409. Beautiful morning this morning. Overall, beautiful. There you go. Real-time information, real-time executions. $400 in the matter of 3 minutes. Yeah, that is exactly why I'm here. So, you always end the day if your first trade is a W. The results don't matter. The process is more important. It doesn't matter if it's a win or a loss. After the first trade, I'm done. Doesn't matter the results. The results are a byproduct to the process. Why didn't you enter the stronger pair on ES? That's a phenomenal question, and here's why. ES never pulled back, right? So the change in the state of delivery is what I was looking at. ES was already gone, right? So there wasn't an ability for me to get into this change in the state of delivery. I would have been chasing it, right? Here's the change in the state of delivery down here on ES, right? At least NQ retested the area that I was analyzing. So that's the difference. I was not going to chase ES. So yes, you're correct in saying longing in the stronger pair is a good idea. I do agree with that. But if it runs without you, don't want to make chasing a habit. This one retested it. After it retested it, it showed a favorable bullish reaction. twice, and then I entered and it went. That's why. When or is it ever okay to long the stronger pair in a bullish market during SMT? You do want to be longing the stronger asset. So that is something that I should have put into my notes. Thank you, everybody, for bringing it up. Yes, the long should have been on ES, but I'm telling you the reason why I wasn't capable of getting the long on ES because I wasn't going to chase it. Right? At least NQ got to retest the area in which I was looking at entering. ES did not. ES did not. Hey, Ash, for a breaker block, to be confirmed, do you just need a close above the breaker block? Yes, that is correct. Handle closure above the breaker block is what would confirm the break. Amazing transparency. You're the best out there. Thank you very much, Emily. That was very kind of you. I'm just trying to provide value from my own personal experience. So if you guys learn from my mistakes, I find that a W. Even if I suffer because of it, right? If I have a loss and I lose $400, there's still a lesson in it. There is still value that can be extracted from it. So, in my opinion, other people's, thoughts of me, other people's opinions of me, that's not what pays me. What pays me is being able to click this button like I did today. So my focus is going to be on clicking the button. If you guys, have any questions, have any information, have anything that you'd want to go over, I'm an open book. I'll gladly share my experience. So just hear me clearly. If I don't have that information, I'm going to defer to somebody else. I don't know everything. But the information I do have, information I have came across, or any experiences I've had, I'll gladly share those things. I'm not going to do something that is, I just find it unethical to try to provide information you don't have, right? Like if I don't have the information, I'm just going to defer to somebody else. That's all it really boils down to. I'm here to build my own muscle memory. Opinions, that's not what, collects experience. That's not what helps me click the button. So I'm not really worried about opinion. But thank you for the kind comment very much. I have no problem with being transparent because this is my real experience. So this I have to show everybody. I only execute on the 5-minute chart, still waiting for my short position if it will show up. There will always be another opportunity. So if you have not gotten an opportunity yet this morning, remain patient. Fall in love with the process. Allow the results to be a byproduct. Just remain patient and make sure you're implementing your process. Ash, how are you so cool, man? Like, how have you mastered your emotions? Like, how do you know when to stop? I think that's the turning point in trading. This guy in the space. Well, first of all, thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate that. Second of all, fiction built through experience. So in terms of mastering my emotions, that's only because I've been sitting here staring at the screen for the past 7 years. Truthfully, I think any of you can also do that if you put the time in. Nothing special about it. I'm a normal human being, just like every single one of you. And the thing that has gotten me to that point in time is showing up and putting the time in, collecting the experience. More times you do something, the more confidence you're going to have to do that thing. You can be that person too. Anybody can. Put more time in. You need SMT in order to take a trade. Yeah, I do want SMT. Hear me clearly. I'm a human being, so I also make mistakes. There's been times where I've traded without SMT. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. So yes, there has been times where I've taken trades without SMT. Asking me if I'd rather have SMT. Yes, my preference would be I want SMT. Breaker is different from a change in the state of delivery. That is correct. Yes, this was a change in the state of delivery. This was not, I'm not pointing to the breaker here. That's why it's labeled as a change. What is your win rate, Ash? I finished 2025 with a 50% win rate. I averaged a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Honestly speaking, in relation to this trade, will you say you had a bullish bias or a bearish bias coming into the day? Just go back to the beginning of my live stream. I explained exactly how I was approaching today. So exactly how I was approaching today was I needed to see, there was a question that I specifically wrote on the chart. And this was the question right here. Question was, will this area be resistant? So in terms of a bias, no, I'm not going to say I was bullish or bearish. If you go back to the beginning of the live stream, you'll see what I'm saying. I was being objective to price. I was allowing price to do whatever it wanted to do. And this was the if-then statement I was asking myself. If this area shows a rejection, then I would look for lower prices. This area did not show a rejection, and that's why I executed long. So there wasn't a bias there. That was me being objective. And you saw the two different outcomes. I pointed to higher prices. I pointed to lower prices because I was looking to answer this question right here. I was objective to the current price, I would say. Very good question. Very, very good question. But chat, I am going to begin to wrap it up there. I need to make sure I get some breakfast in before this next live stream, or else I'm just going to disintegrate into nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and begin to wrap up live stream there. That way I have some time to go get breakfast and move over to my live stream. Do me a favor. Show up at 10:30 over at the My Fund of Futures live stream. So in 30 minutes from now, come join me for one more hour. Let's finish this review. Let's finish this conversation over on the My Fund of Futures live stream. I will be going live on there in 30 minutes. Okay, so do me a favor, meet me over there. Let's finish this conversation over there. I'm going to go grab a quick snack. I can prepare for it. But chat, we're going live throughout the entire year. So if you're finding value from this, if you want to see more trades on the screen, if you want to see more giveaways, if you want to keep showing up, asking questions, and going over New York Open, hit the like button, hit the sub button, turn the notifications on. We're going to continue to keep going live. You all know where to find me now. Okay? We're going to be working and learning all of. I want to also take a moment to say thank you to you all. Thank you to everybody that showed up this morning. All of the questions are greatly appreciated. That is the type of repetition that's going to build the muscle memory we need to learn this business. So let's keep working, chat. Let's keep working. Amazing job today. I'm very happy for everybody that got green with me. Congratulations for all the individuals that took the position. Now is a time to remain green. Now is a time to work on your health, do something good for the soul, work on other businesses. It is not acceptable to hand back your hard work. Yes. I'm looking at you. You're the individual. Got green this morning. You are not allowed to hand that back. Plain and simple. Overtrading will never be acceptable. Accept what you've accomplished this morning. Deal with delayed gratification and understand that being green is more important than taking another trade. Congratulations to all individuals that got green with me. I will see you all in another 30 minutes over on the other live. See you all soon. Have a nice day.